gun cleaning. How often should we do it, and how do we do it? Now, I'm a proponent of really not cleaning up my guns too well. I'm kind of under the impression that really, as long as it runs, I'm good. And as long as I keep it oiled, it usually works just fine. Now, it used to be that every firing session afterwards, you want to clean your gun, because it used to be that we shot corrosive ammo, which would typically rust the barrel out and would not be good for your gun. However, nowadays, we got magical bullets, and they don't corrode your gun. And that's why I say to most people when they ask me how often they should clean your gun, it depends on the gun. You got your Glock 19s right here. These things just keep running. As long as you keep them well oiled, they're just going to be perfectly fine. In fact, there's been a lot of tests where people actually don't oil these things and then they keep on running. That's why I say that most modern rifles and pistols really rarely need to be cleaned. Now, that's not to say that it's a bad idea to clean your gun. I'm just saying, it might not be worth the time and money to keep cleaning it after every single time that you fire it. For example, these older rifles here, like here, you might really treasure something like a K31 that I have right here. And some of these older guns too might only exclusively shoot more so corrosive ammo, because you might find a little bit of corrosive ammo a lot cheaper. However, if you really want to make sure that a gun stays really well maintained and you want to, keep it nice, I recommend cleaning it after every session, because you might want to, have it long term. Also, typically, 22s, they usually need to be cleaned a little bit more often, because 22 is a typically dirty cartridge, so it's going to leave a little bit more gunk in your system, and you might want to kind of clean that out and make sure that these rifles and pistols still seem well maintained. And the other category of firearms are related to guns that usually shoot suppressed. Usually suppressed rifles and pistols typically get a little bit more blowback within the action of the gun, and that will usually make it a little bit more dirty. So it's helpful to kind of keep that system clean and well lubricated, so that way your gun just keeps on running. Now, if you just want a rough guideline in terms of how often you might want to clean your modern guns, I suggest maybe about once a year. I think that would probably be, best. I rarely clean mine. I only oil them up when they really need it. Alright, so now let's get into how you actually clean your gun. Now, there's two key parts of actually cleaning your gun. The first is the barrel, which will usually require you to have a little long stem like this with a little bristle on the end to dunk into your cleaning solution and your lubricants. And then there's also bore snakes, which you would simply put some of this liquid onto this bore snake. It's a little string right here, and you put it on one end, has a little bit of weight that goes down a little bit down the barrel, and you can just pull the bore snake through there and clean out your entire barrel that way. Now, one thing I see a lot of guys do is also get one of these little planing sheets here. It's just kind of a nice little pad, has a little bit of non-stick fiber on the bottom part to kind of help everything stay intact, and you might not damage your table that way. I got a workbench, so I really don't need one of these. But if you want to get one of these, then I suggest just go on and get one. Also, one thing I also wanted to note here is that these little things right here, they come in kits. So they'll come with ones that you might find for a 9mm barrel and a certain length of these types of rods here. So Hobby's number 9 has them kits. There's also plenty of others on the market. So just go with whatever's, best rated. Also, another thing you might consider getting is when you're actually brushing off the components, get a kind of cheap one of these gun brushes here. One has a thicker end, one has a smaller end for all the smaller pieces there. I suggest getting one with just regular tooth bristles. There are some here that have a little bit more of this metal type of string added to it, and you rarely want to use this because this can easily just scrape off finish off your guns. So rarely use something like this, but I definitely recommend getting just a giant pack of these, or some gun stores even just sell a buck a pop at the cash register. And this will definitely serve you well. Also, in my little cleaning kit, I've got an old t-shirt and a few just white rags that are never going to be used again. This is just to brush off all the nastiness on your gun when you're cleaning it, because you don't need anything sort of fancy wipes. Just use an old cloth that you have and you should be fine there. And as far as actually cleaning the gun itself, there's plenty of videos out there on YouTube to actually find how do I clean my specific gun, but it's all very simple. Try not to over clean everything in your gun, because a lot of things don't really need to be cleaned, or there's some parts that really don't even need to be lubricated. So just find the best way and the most effective way to clean your gun on the internet, and you should be fine to go. Lastly, let's actually go into some of the solutions that you might want to get. There's 3 main categories, which is cleaning, lubricate, and preserve. Now, rim oil is kind of known as kind of a do-it-all default kind of oil that I really like a lot, and that's kind of pretty much what I like to use. I like to have something I can actually spray on, which is really nice. Hobby's number 9 is really the household name of gun cleaning. There's plenty of products out there. Now, when it comes to actual solutions, you can kind of get into the snake oil territory in terms of what's the most effective, what's the best one to do. For my AK, for example, I just have some automotive grease that I throw in there. So try not to go crazy and fancy on it. You can't go wrong with rim oil or Hobby's number 9, but making sure you actually lubricate, clean, and maintain your guns to make sure that they don't rust or anything like that is always very important. Anyways, that's everything you need to know about gun cleaning. I'm Adam Cantrell from Next Gen Arms. If you have any questions, just let me know on the Instagram page. Link will be in the description. Hope you guys have a great day.